Ciao ragazzi, I'm Roberta from Pasta Evangelists, and today we are going to make basil pesto. So basil pesto is also known as a pesto alla genovese. It comes from western Italy, from the region of Liguria, and is really typical in the city of Genova. Let's check the ingredients together. We got fresh parmesan, just a little bit of pecorino, pine nuts, extra virgin olive oil, a pinch of salt, garlic, and of course fresh basil. Allora, let's start to make this beautiful pesto. As I say, it's a simple 7 ingredient. I have already roughly chopped the garlic to make it easy. Then guys, I have toasted for a couple of minutes just to get the oil out the pine nuts, and we start to mix garlic and pine nuts together first. So I want you to firmly press both ingredients until you form a paste. So we have mixed pine nuts and garlic. Now what we're going to do, we are just separate because we wanted to mix the basil. Keep this aside, you will need in a couple of minutes. So it is nice and both ingredients combined together, the garlic and the pine nuts. Now we need to start with the basil, and that's what we need to do first before we continue to add pecorino and parmesan. So I would say 4 cups of basil will be probably enough for a meal for 4. So that's what I do always. I try to prefer a small leaf of basil. If not, you can just break it in 2 and slowly, if you got a small mortar, don't worry, you can do it step by step. But it's important to mix separately the basil. What I'm going to do as well with the basil, I'm just going to add a pinch of salt that will help me to mix the basil better. So that's what I do, just a pinch of salt, guys. Don't add it too much. Remember, we do have parmesan and pecorino. And you are going to mix the basil together. So we have mixed the basil together, so only basil and a little bit of salt, and as you can see, that's the consistency that you're gonna get. And now you can start to simply add the remaining ingredient. As I say, so first of all, guys, make sure that it's always clean, the pestle, because we don't want to waste any basil. So what I'm gonna do, guys, remember the salt I have already mixed with a little bit of basil, so you don't need any more salt because we got the cheese that is really nice and salty. And that's what I'm gonna do. Slowly, I'm gonna add a little bit of pecorino. And also, I will start to infuse with a little bit of olive oil, just to get it to combine both ingredients together. In case you need more olive oil, just feel free to add it. And I do exactly the same. I continue to mix together. You can see that the color slightly change, so it will be really nice and bright green. You mix together. That's the consistency that you want it to reach. So it's not a sauce, it's a pesto. So the difference is between the sauce that you can actually see all the ingredients. I will show you in a second once we start to add also remember the garlic and the pine nuts. Now they can go both in again. We continue to mix. I'm going to add also a little bit of more extra virgin olive oil and just a little bit of parmesan to make it more creamy. So more olive oil. Don't worry, add olive oil. It is, can you see now, guys? You can actually see every ingredient. We can see the garlic, the pine nuts, the cheese, and the basil. I will add just a little bit of parmesan as well. So we have added both cheese. I love parmesan, for instance, so sometimes I add just a little bit more if I wanna bring it more flavor in, but feel free, you know, to add more or less, you know, a couple of tablespoons. And we continue to mix. Now what you can do, you can also just use a spoon to bring the ingredient together. Remember to clean it. We don't want to waste pesto. Yeah, we just continue to mix together. Probably I will add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. And I will show you now the consistency once you continue to add the extra virgin olive oil. Can you see, guys? It is more creamy. So more olive oil you add, more creamy your pesto is going to be. And I simply love the consistency. Can you see it's really nice and rustic? Now that the pesto is ready, what's the best pasta that you can pair? Of course, is very typical to pair the basil pesto with the trofie. It's again pasta typical from Liguria, and I would say it's the best. So really trying to go with the trofie, but you can also pair a long pasta like spaghetti o linguine. It's really up to you. I will suggest trofie. Now that the basil pesto is ready, you just need to bring to boil some water, cook your pasta and mix it together. You don't really need to warm up your pesto. If you want to store in the fridge, it will stay up to 4 days. Just remember to leave a little bit of extra virgin olive oil on top so it will not change the color. Now that you know how to make basil pesto, if you want to learn more about pasta and sauces, you can subscribe to our channel, press the bell and get notification. Buon appetito!